Okay, everybody, welcome back. This is Mr. Purdy here. Hope you're doing great, staying safe and staying healthy. Welcome, my pre-algebra students. Definitely miss you all a lot. I know I always say that, but it's really true. It is Friday, May 15th, and I'm recording a quick little video on equations. I know when we did equations back in Unit 2, seems like a long time ago, I know they're really, really boring. But this is just going to be, I'll try to make it kind of a quick video. I just have a couple examples to show you. You might want to have something to write with and something to write on when you watch this, please, so that you can kind of follow along. And then, of course, we'll have our class on Tuesday and Thursday. Folks, there's just 4 weeks left, okay? Just give it your very best, especially with these 4 weeks in this class, because we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, what you really, really need to know to succeed in Algebra 1, no matter where you take it, no matter when you take it. I know with COVID-19, we don't know if it's online, we don't know what, some of you are moving. I understand. Some of you, not all of you are going to be at Lake Braddock next year. I understand. But Algebra 1 is Algebra 1 no matter when, no matter where, no matter how. Being able to do some of these things, equations, and we're going to revisit slope and slope-intercept, stuff like that's really, really, really going to help you. So allow me to just kind of just go through this with you, please. And I think it's really, really going to be beneficial to you. So here we go. All right, we're going to start off just like we did in class. We're going to start off kind of easy, and we'll get to ones that are a little bit more involved and more intense. So if you don't have the notes, that's fine. Just copy this down somewhere. Please copy this down somewhere. If you're stuck, just pause the video and click and drag, kind of rewind it, and just watch it a second time if you need to. Okay, here's the deal. We want to solve for x just like we did a long time ago, and we're going to add 8. It's a minus 8, so we're going to do the inverse operations. If it's minus 8, we're going to add 8 to both sides. Always do the opposite. So if it's 3x minus 8, we want to do all of our addition and subtraction first. So we're going to add 8 here. That will cancel these. So 3x is going to be equal to 39. 31 plus 8. Now, to solve for x, this is 3 times x. We're going to divide both sides by 3. And divide both sides by 3. And x is going to be equal to, the value of x is going to be equal to 13. 39 divided by 3. And we know it answers 13 because you can go back and take your answer, which is 13. Let me erase this a little bit here. You can take your 13 and plug it in for x. In other words, 3 times 13 is 39, minus 8 is 31. So this checks out. Okay, that's just your basic two-step equation, and it's something that you'll need to know as we move forward. Okay, I got about I think I got about 9 of these. So just stay with me on this. Let's just do a little bit at a time. So we did two-step equations. Then we did variables on both sides. And in class, I'm going to be going over a lot of this stuff with you. And we'll do our either Kahoot, probably go back to quizzes. Kahoot was had a little bit of malfunction there in the beginning. Okay, sometimes you have to distribute. So see this 3, we'll distribute the 3 to both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 16 minus 6x. We don't need to touch that. So we're going to write 16 minus 6x. And that's going to be equal to what? Well, 3 times x is 3x. See the minus sign here? Minus. 3 times 11 is 33. Remember, you have to multiply everything by 3. Now, we got a variable on both sides here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move all of our variables to the left, just like Beyonce did, to the left, to the left. So this is a positive 3x. So if we're going to move this over to the other side, I want to subtract it. So I'm going to subtract 3x here, which, by the way, will cancel all this. See, what I'm doing is just moving stuff over and simplifying. But I need to subtract it here. I don't want to subtract it from the 16. I want x terms. I want like terms. Now, we're going to combine these. So we're going to have now 16. And what you have is a negative 6 and a negative 3. That's negative 9x. Starting off with kind of a tricky problem, but that's okay. It's good for you. Equals negative 33. That's the only thing that's left on the right side, negative 33. Now, remember, that's a positive 16. We want to move that over. So we're going to subtract 16 here. Remember, these are gone. This is why we do that. Inverse operation. And we're going to subtract 16 here. So negative 9x is going to be equal to negative 49. And you always are going to have a calculator to help you with this stuff. No one expects you to always know how to do integers all the time in your head, lightning quick and things like that. You're always going to have a calculator. So, all right, we want to take 49, or negative 49, and divide it by negative 9. That's going to be a positive answer, and that's going to be 5.4 repeating. So x is going to be equal to 5.4. You got that from the calculator. 5.4 repeating, and we'll put a bar here. I know it's a little tricky what we just did, but you can do it. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Okay, let's move on. Bring your questions to class, and I will definitely help you a little bit. I'll help you a lot, by the way. All right, let's move on. Let's just move on here. Okay, you got a variable on both sides again, so let's move all of our variables to the left. So see this negative 3x, I'm going to move it over to the left, so I'm going to add 3x here. I know these are boring. Equations are never, ever fun, but boy, your ability to solve an equation is really going to help you. Now, they're going to do a whole unit of equations in Algebra 1, but the more background you have going into it, the easier it's going to be. Keep in mind, you're going to be freshmen. You're going to be busy. You're going to have a lot going on your plate. Activities and clubs and maybe sports and stuff. And anything you can do to make your academic life easier is going to make this easier. So add 7 and add 7. So anything you can absorb now, please do. So 9x is equal to 18. We're going to divide both sides by 9. I'm going to divide both sides by 9. And we're going to get x equals 2. Forgive me, I'm still writing with my mouse. With the mouse, it's not the easiest and not the neatest writing in the world, but it's working. Okay. All right. It's so funny. I'm so used to asking for questions, but it's a video. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. And remember, if there's something you don't understand, for now, when you watch a video, pause it, rewind it. Okay. Just click and drag and watch it again. Watch me do the problem again. Okay, all right, let's do a couple more of these. This is slide 5 of 9, so we're getting there. Okay, and this is 19. 19, I'm just trying to give you all different types that you're going to see. 19 minus 5x. When we do the class, we will review, we'll do more examples in class because we have 2 classes next week. So I'll get to cover a little bit more in class. I didn't want the video to be, forever with a whole bunch of problems. I just want you to get kind of the feel for it, and we'll go over all this in class. Okay, we're going to take all the x's to the left. That's a positive. If there's no sign in front, it's positive. So we need to subtract 3x here. We're going to subtract 3x here. We're also going to subtract 3x here. And remember, these are gone. By the way, keep doing that homework that I'm assigning, please. Some of you are a little bit behind. Okay, negative 5 and negative 3 is negative 8 plus 19. This one's tricky. By the way, see the 19? The 19 has no sign in front of it. We have to assume it's positive, and that equals negative 21. Okay, so we're going to subtract 19, and we're going to subtract 19 here. My Algebra 1 honor students do similar equations when they did an equation unit this year. Negative 40, right? Negative 40. So divide both sides by negative 8. Divide both sides by negative 8, and x is going to be equal to 5. And even on longer equations like this, you can still take your answer and plug it back in to both x's. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, but you can still do that, definitely. All right. I'll let you look at that just for a second. All right, let's move on. Okay, a couple more here. And these are really not really in order of difficulty. These are just kind of scrambled around here. So this one, that all the variables are on the left side. So this one's a little easier, but we still need to know how to distribute and combine like terms. So I've got algebra students who struggle with that this year. Okay, this is something that the more, like I said, folks, the more of this you can absorb. I know over the summer we forget stuff. I understand that. It's COVID-19. It's just a mess. But just try to absorb as much of this as you can. It'll really help you. Okay, we distributed the 4. Everything else stays the same. See how I try to keep everything kind of neat. The equal signs right below each other. Just try to keep it neat. 4x plus 11x can be combined. That's 11. 4x plus 7x is 11x. See, a lot of times students start moving stuff over and do inverse operation. Always combine everything first. So we got 11x from these two. Now, plus 20. There's no x there, so we can't combine that. And all that equals negative 24. Okay, almost done. We want to get rid of the 20. So it's plus 20, so we're going to subtract 20. If you remember, you always do the opposite, folks. Equations are not nearly as hard as people think. It is literally always doing the inverse operation. Okay, this is 11 times x, so we're going to end up dividing. Okay, this is negative 24 minus 20. You can use your calculator and get negative 44. You can always use your calculator. Divide both sides by 11, because remember it's 11 times x. Divide both sides by 11, and x is going to be equal to negative 4. Always, for the sake of, to help your teacher next year, always circle your answers. Please always, 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 always circle your answers. Okay, couple more. Ooh, yikes. Yuck. All right, let's do it. First of all, you got a fraction here. Notice you got a variable on the left, variable on the right, but we'll deal with that in a second. First of all, we got to get rid of the fraction. Remember, this is 6x minus 10. All of that is divided by 3. Think about this now. What's the opposite of division? The opposite of division is multiplication. So if we're going to get rid of that 3, let's multiply both sides by 3. Now you got to do it to both sides. You got to balance it out. So what happens is that these 3's cancel. They undo each other. So what you have now, 3 times 4x. Remember, they don't have to be like terms to multiply. 3 times 4x is 12x. So what you have on the left is 12x, and that's equal to 6x minus 10. Everything else is gone. The only thing we're going to keep is what's on the top, 6x minus 10. Okay, all variables to the left, so we're going to subtract 6x. We're going to move that over, so we're going to subtract it here, and we're going to subtract it here. Never subtract an x from a number. There's no x here. Only subtract an x from an x, or add. Okay, when you combine these, you're going to get 6x equals negative 10. Divide both sides by 6. Divide both sides by 6. And then x is going to be equal to. Now, sometimes next year, your algebra teacher is going to really prefer fractions. So you could actually write it as negative 5 over 3. Why? Because 10, half of 10 is 5, and half of 6 is 3. We keep the negative sign. So you could actually write it like that, too. You could also write it as 1.6 repeating. It's the same answer, or negative 1.6 repeating. So that's fine, too. All right. Let's move on. A couple more here. All right, 2 more slides. All right, I like this one because you've got a fraction. I'm going to distribute a fraction. So let's do it. You've got a 1/3 here. We're going to distribute 1/3. We're going to distribute 1/3 to both of these. Now think about what 1/3 of 6 is. If I have $6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of those represents $1. And you got 1/3 of the money. Imagine I was going to divide this evenly among 3 people. So one person gets $2, one person gets $2, the person gets $2. So 1/3 of 6 is 2. So 1/3 is basically 6 divided by 3. 2x minus, now 1/3 of 12 is basically 12 divided by 3, which is 4. And all that equals negative 5. Okay, so add 4. Add 4. So 2x is going to be equal to negative 1. A motorcycle just drove by. That might be what you're hearing. Divide both sides by 2. And x is going to be equal to negative 1/2. And ladies and gentlemen, you are done. Just look at these carefully, and you'll get them. You know, in class, we didn't do very bad on these. You know, some of us struggle a little bit, but you know, with extra help, I helped you, and we made corrections on stuff. I think we got it. I think it just took, it just takes some time. All right, I'm always going to give you a word problem when we do this. There'll be one we do in class too. At your part-time job, let's just say you work at Subway, you make $8 per hour. Hopefully when people start working again, $8 per hour. We'll go 8x, $8 per hour. We're going to attach a variable to it because each hour you get $8. So in 2 hours, you get 8 times 2, which is 16. If you work 5 hours, you get 8 times 5, which is 40. Okay, you're saving up to buy a new gaming system. You've already saved 120. So 8x is going to be what you make. You already have 120. So the left side is going to be the money that you have, or the money you're going to get. The right side is the money that you need. And these have to balance out. Okay, we need to make sure all of this equals 600 so we can buy it. So how many hours, that's x, how many hours do you have to work to buy the gaming system? Okay, let's solve for x. So subtract 120. Last problem, stay with me. Subtract 120, subtract 120. So what you're going to have now is 8x. 8x is going to be equal to 480. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. And you're going to have to work to buy this new gaming system. A total of 480 divided by 8 is 60. So 60 hours. And that could be not 60 hours in a week. That would be really hard to do. 60 hours throughout, maybe starting in the summer, that kind of thing. So maybe you work 10 hours a week. So in about 6 weeks, you'd be able to afford it. Okay, this is just kind of equations in a nutshell. We didn't cover every last bit of equations, but I think we did enough to really warrant a good foundation. And what we'll do is we'll pick this up in class on Tuesday and Thursday. Again, always make sure you have something to write with and something to write on when we do this. Okay, stay healthy, stay safe. Love you all. And let me go ahead and stop this.